Greetings. I am Queen of the Stars, coming to you from the liminal space where time isn't linear and multidimensional frequencies are alive and present, emanating from me to inspire truth, authenticity, balance, liberation, and cosmic alignment. True to my name, I travel the stars and cosmos far and wide through my emotional technology, and have created this podcast to prophecy. In other words, to declare or foretell through divine inspiration. This podcast is going to involve time travel, jumping past, future, and parallel timelines to share wisdom and inspired journeys from resonant souls and high vibrational beings. Queen Prophecies is a conscious act in service of all on their unique paths to assist in the upgrades and activations at this precise moment on Earth. Sit back and enjoy the frequencies. Who were the ancient Mayans? And where did they come from in our great universe? I have pondered this for some time in this current incarnation of mine, but the twist in the narrative happened in 2019 in Antigua, Guatemala, when a spiritual Mayan priest and keeper of the ancient and sacred calendar told me that I was Ganil, or the seed. He said I had come from the stars with seeds of wisdom for humanity, which he based solely on my birth date. It was his insights and conviction that completely shifted my perspective about my role in the greater Mayan story and led me to finally take an ancestry test which revealed I do carry Mayan blood. Down the rabbit hole I have gone, allowing my ancestors and blood lineages to lead the way home to myself, to my power, and to my purpose as a catalyst for humanity at this time. I am honored to share this channeled conversation with the ascended Maya beings and collective brought through by a gifted channeler named Ivan Teller. These are the seeds that we, the Maya, offer with love for those who are open and ready to remember. Down the cosmic rabbit hole we go.
Greetings to you. We are the Mayan consciousness. Blessings to you.
Many blessings. I'm Ariana Noemi del Rio, and I thank the Mayan collective consciousness for being present here with us. Extremely grateful that you have taken the time to be with us.
Yes, we are glad to see you're here to see our point of view. Yes, we are kind of like the rain gods of weather. Mm-hmm. We shift energies a great deal. Yes, with the higher frequencies for humans to adapt to their higher frequency energies. We give them, we leave it open for humans to connect to that, to heal the amnesia. Mm-hmm.
Is it through water?
Yes, through wind, water, clouds, space, the trees. Trees play a big role. Well, I mean, our tree can change its form. You walk by a tree, and it's like looks one way, and you walk back, and it looks different because you've shifted your reality. So.
Are you the ascended Mayan consciousness or just a collective of Mayan consciousness that's always...
Well, we are all, but we are ascended also.
Okay, just exactly.
We are all consciousness, yes.
Mm-hmm. Can you share a bit more about your energies for those that either have never really been familiar with Mayan energy or don't know the extent of what you represent.
Well, we are much of longevity, of this peace of mind, where the soul connects to its highest potential. Yes, to understand all forms of life. And humans are going through a understanding of the reptilian side of itself. The fear, it's having difficulties releasing the fear, as you know. Well, it doesn't always see where it's going. It's like humanity doesn't always see its potential of a higher frequency. Some do, but most of the society does not see it. Like, you're not physically seeing it. You have to feel it, experience it through you. So we are just there to light the candle of the soul, basically.
I'm glad you mentioned the reptilians somehow. I know in my experience with Mayan frequencies, and particularly the Mayan lands, the serpent is a very important, very, very important symbol and consciousness, and also it just connects earth to the heavens and the underworld.
Yes.
Can you make a distinction between serpent energy and what you mean about reptilian energy?
Well, the reptilian or the serpent is pretty much the same thing. It's been misrepresented throughout the world as a pure consciousness. It basically is another form of life. It can connect to darkness and light. It just, humans are wandering towards darkness because they're not fully understanding what they have. Basically, a reptilian is a physical form and created. It's like, what kind of beings can bring in a physicality? Reptilians can definitely do it. But they found out how to master physical realms, but also how they can go back into the non-physical at the same time. That's what humans are learning. Humans are learning physical and non-physical reflections. So it's basically you're mastering the masters that are here, like the reptilian beings and countless other beings that are brought hardship here. You're to master their teachings. Not that you need to do what they're doing, but to, win, you can say, is one way of surviving their teachings, but also to, learn from it, but also to connect to that, your inner power. So you don't have to go through his manipulations anymore. Bypassing it, you can say.
So from what I understand about, I guess, the reptilian ancient energy that wanted to take over, or at least be the big bosses here, how did the Mayans fit into that? How did the ancient Mayans that actually were physical here on Earth, how'd that play out?
Well, you can say the Mayans was one of the last civilizations to go into amnesia. They were saved for a long time. They saw what was happening here. They can see it. But over time, when the Mayan knowledge was lost, humans, the Mayan people just forgot of the higher frequencies. The core just wore off. So the Mayan gods are part of keeping higher frequencies, at least in their early days. Of course, eventually the Mayan gods became corrupted over time. And that's when the amnesia began. It was hard to stop it, especially when humans were falling for the manipulations. So, but think about when your frequency is so high, you can see reptilian beings, you can see all the beings that are, the fourth dimension, basically. And you're protected, but you also prophesize, we can protect you now, but not forever. It's up to society to stay. So there are civilizations here that humans only ever see because their frequencies are so high.
So there's a couple threads I'd like to go off of there. One of them being, were the gods actually corrupted, the Mayan gods, or was it the way people perceived them, or, started acting in order to venerate them, but really that's never what the gods wanted anyways?
No, in the beginning, it wasn't the case, but over time, some of the gods became corrupted due to the humans being pulled into manipulations. So, like a darker side of the gods came out, let's put it that way. So they're depicted more darker, and that wasn't really the god's intention, but more of the darker side came through. So, yeah, there's still a lighter side, but the darker aspect appeared. Well, because humans wanted to be tested. They wanted to go through what other people are going through. So, yeah, it came to the human influence. Well, they're curious. It's like, wow, this is new knowledge. Of course, now you have too much knowledge, as many are going through right now.
The second thing that I found, that I guess we can go off of is, if these other fourth dimensional civilizations were living simultaneously at the time of the Mayans that were of a higher consciousness, were they in communication with these civilizations in other parts of the world, even whether it just be psychically, whether it be physically? Would they travel to know or to learn from these other civilizations or exchange?
Yes, there were a lot of those high vibrational civilizations. One was in India and also Morocco. There's others, but India and Morocco want to be known.
Was there a specific name to these civilizations?
They don't want. It's not at this time. No, there is, but they're not making it public right now.
Okay.
Over time, will be.
And is it likely that they were traveling physically by boats and, by land, or were they maybe teleporting or just telekinetic?
More teleporting. Some that do use boats, yes. Some are guides to others because they were still connected to the human, but or the higher frequency, higher dimensional ones. People here are remembering themselves. They're remembering their teleport abilities, telepathic abilities, slowly unraveling. Some of the people here remember the higher dimensional Mayans. So basically, the higher dimensional Mayans basically just started to disappear as humans went into their journey. That's where the aliens went. They're still here. You just can't see them, as you know.
So, can you explain a little bit about what the high vibrational Mayan consciousness of those epochs, like how did they view time? How did they view time differently than what we've been taught, or that what we imagine time to be? Even now, a lot of people on this planet don't understand.
Well, they lived in the future. They lived, with no time, but they saw the future often. So they're just it's like living in the clouds. Just think of you're like living in heaven, basically. Heaven on earth. That's the energy of that. It's like you heighten your just like having psychic knowledge now, intuitive abilities, but just it's a lot lighter. You see things more clearly. And that was the Mayan experience. That was the civilization of all beings here. Mm-hmm. The Atlantean energy, when they arrived on Earth, they already had a form of darkness within themselves already. But that's what attracted them here, so they can kind of plant their darkness here. Of course, it was of a higher frequency in the beginning. Over time, it's like now when they're used to the place, they create positive civilizations. It's like now another side of them can start, they're ready to explore it. And the world consciousness agreed to it.
So when we have just these little remnants of, for example, the Mayan calendar, or we know that they calculated 2012 as a very important marker year because they had these long stretches of time, 13,000 years being, like a time that they, I guess, worked with, or 26,000 years being a cycle that they worked with. Can you elaborate a little bit on this?
Well, the calendar was, yes, not exactly a set time, but was a marker for the future of when, yes, you come out of amnesia. It was planted within the Earth's energy. The Earth agreed to it also. So, yeah, you can say somewhat sees cataclysms and all that. Well, yes, in some regard, because you're not seeing, the old Earth is no longer have its definition as it used to. And you're seeing that now. And more of society will begin to remember what it forgot. So it's part of the contract. But it's like, that's when you're going to wake up. The beginning stages of it. It's not the full stage of it. It's just like the alarm clock comes on, but now you're still getting out of bed. The Earth, it's like you want to go through all this darkness, then it's all yours. Before it's 2012, it's all you. Go where you want to go. Just have it. During the Renaissance, there was an awakening. There has been spikes of evolution. Mm-hmm. But 2012 is your time to evolve. And the Earth wants us at the same time. Just to not have to go through. It's like breaking up with an old relationship. It's like the relationship's over. And some are like, wait, hold on, wait, I want to stay with you. That's what's happening right now. It's like, no, it's divorce time. But it has to happen slowly.
Was there ever a possibility that humanity could even miss that marker of 2012, or you're saying this is implanted in the Earth, it's encoded, we agreed to this, Gaia herself probably agreed?
No, we don't see. Gaia was like, this is when it's going to happen. So yes, you will see the weeds of your Earth. You will see many things, alien beings show themselves, as many of you can't wait for. Be careful what you ask for. Those days will come.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of the old energies have to be retired for that to occur, though. As you are seeing now. The comfort zone of this reality has to allow more. The Mayans, we did not have shopping centers and all this, what you have here. So, a lot of it has to go for you to connect more to your spiritual self. So how is it in a spiritual world? That's what you're heading into. You're just slowly phasing things out, just so slowly, because so many are holding on to it. That's why many are leaving, dying, because it's like they want their shopping centers, they want that stuff. But they see the future where timelines where they don't exist anymore. So that's what's happening right now.
Thank you for that, because I think, it's landing for me. It's really, really landing in my heart to hear just some of those things that you just shared. I would love for you to talk a little bit about the Mayan tree of life, Ya'ash Che, I think it's how it's pronounced.
Well, yes, it's all forms of life, of experiences, emotions. It's really the human emotion. It's similar to Adam and Eve in some regard. The tree of life, the knowledge, but it's really about emotions, your different levels of it. Love, sadness, all these things of what makes you human. So and you're going more into your, which is it actually heals much your spirit self. It's just an emotion. One emotion takes the spiritual body. It's like like an adventure. It's like I'm really experiencing certain sadness, certain happiness. It's like a whirlwind of just emotions being human. In the spirit realm, you can be just happy. You might get aggravated every once in a while, but it's nothing like it is here, though. Here, it's just so real. It's just, that's why souls keep coming back. A lot of it has to do with the emotion. Why these souls go through the troubles they go through, because of what it brings out of them. Just especially when they're emotionless, they go through a lot of life's troubles, and it brings the emotion out of them. Heartbreak after heartbreak, emotion finally finds its way through. So it's a break. And some souls are just so stuck in an old phase of themselves. This world finds a way out eventually.
So can we use the symbolism of the Mayan tree of life to both go into the underworld and learn more about ourselves and transcend things and complete contracts and,
yes,
life lessons and cycles?
Well, you're already in a form of the underworld now, as you can see. So yes, the soul always has, you notice how negativity is so easy to trigger. It's just right there. It's always there. If you want to make things, if you want to bring in the underworld, just one choice activates it. One negative, that's why we have knives and things in your own home, or someone can just switch over to that, just like that. So they want to let you know that realm always exists. Maybe it exists too much. Maybe it's too close. Can you get to the higher realms? It's easy, but it's not always so easy, because the dark side is always always temptation. Come to my world. Yeah, you'll be it's like a family. So.
Yeah, because I've understood almost in cross-culturally a tree of life, the branches rise up to the heavens, the roots go down into,
yes.
The earth, the underworld. Mm-hmm. And this carries over in all parts of the world. Some civilization had their version of the tree of life, but specifically when I've connected to the tree of life in, let's say, parts of Mexico physically, I've always felt that it feels like home. The essence of the tree is full of like the full spectrum of, I don't know, the human experience, or take that to the macro, the universal experience as beings who, like you said, keep coming back to learn new things, keep coming back to expand, maybe want to change the future because they've wronged things, or they've changed and they've grown.
Well, look at the tree of life. You can be at the top of the tree of life where the leaves are, heaven is, or you can climb down and go into the root of the earth, into the lower realms. But realize you can always climb out of that. There's always a way out if you want it. Some just stay there for a long time. They feel like that's where they belong. Some just have no self-love. They've lost it. They feel like they don't deserve a higher dimension. But a lot of them in the lower realms are very decent beings. They just like that darkness. That darkness, they can't let it go. So.
The word lost comes to mind because, at least if I use my own experience going through my spiritual awakening, there were times where I felt lost. I just felt like this reality is really, really difficult. This lifetime feels like I've lived fucking 30, 40, 50 lifetimes in one. And maybe it's because I'm remembering all these different aspects of myself, and you know, I'm seeing the threads of all these other lifetimes that have then either accumulated karma and they have to be dealt with and healed and completed now here. What do you think about karmic cleanup? Like, is karma ever going to go away? I've heard a lot of people say this is the end of that. The term karma or whatever isn't really going to exist moving forward. Like, this is the time for the karmic cleanup, and then we can transcend that.
Well, first off, an answer you're lost. It's like you're in the middle of the tree, like you're holding on to it, but you're not going anywhere. It's like you're living in the tree of life, but you don't know direction to go. You're just like circling around the tree, or there's somewhere on the tree, but you're not evolving as you like it to. You're absorbing the tree's frequency. Like you're connected to other people's energies. And that has to do with timelines also, when the time is to, get off of that, like walk to the bus stop and get on the bus, you could say. It's like you're at the bus, like you're at the bus stop, but you're not moving. You see people coming and going, but you just sit there on a bench. It's like, all right, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? What is it? No. But for karma, it all depends on the person. And some of you feel, those that don't feel like they have karma, some of them say they need karma. It's like, especially when you have something bad happen to you by that person, it's like, I have no karma. Well, think again. Okay. You're going to have karma for some of your actions. So it all depends on the reality you go to. Many souls, yes, will find karma-free incarnations, but that's fine. But where do you go from there? It's, to evolve, to really evolve is to be on a karmic timeline. It's up to you, of course. You don't have to be on one, but it's like you do good and good things happen. You do bad, bad things happen. Or sometimes bad things happen to good people and so on. But it's like when you keep doing good things keep happening to you, but also it encourages you to do more. And of course, some souls after a while, it's like they get bored and then they do something wrong. Because it's like, I need to learn. That's one way of going into themselves, So it's like, I've had all those good things happen to me. Now it's time to ruin it all. Some do that.
Sabotage.
You've probably seen plenty of that, actually.
I never really thought of it that way because I felt like boredom has never been a reason for me to make bad choices. Well, okay, no, strike that.
You're on a totally different. You're on a totally different timeline. I mean, a whole different experience there. I mean, bad choices, yeah, for you, that's different. That's more soul growth. That's not to build karma, though.
Okay.
That's just more things you need to explore about yourself.
Versus
karmic
there are definitely beings here that are like, it's a little bit boring. I'm going to make some bad decisions on purpose because I want to shake things up and go into the darkness.
Well, some of those feel very extremely bored of those are the super wealthy usually. But people envy of that. But are you envy of being able to be God of other people's worlds, their reality? Like owning like a supermarket or without using, names of companies, but, a good store where you can get everything you want and selling them cheap products so you can get wealthy more and more. instead of selling them things that they can, chemical free and things like that, which is a good thing. But others choose the other route, the cheaper route, which that will end eventually. Yeah, cheap goods are going to come to an end one day. So you're not going to be out of this whole materialism just yet. You got to improve on it first. You improve on it, and then it helps you like with your food and all that. You keep evolving. That's the plan. Well, it's a plan.
Okay. I'd love to segue into one specific Mayan city that feels very close to me. I don't know if it's from past lifetimes, parallel lifetimes.
Yes, it is.
La Kamha.
Yes, you've been there many, many times. Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit, and also our listeners, about this place and maybe my connection to it?
Well, there are higher frequencies there on just so many different levels at one time, of course. Well, it's teaching the world of its spiritual growth. So you might have been in that place in the world, but you're actually connected to the ancient Atlantean knowledge of prosperity of the soul. A lot of them were actually quite tall back then. Not all of them, but quite a few. And it's like an alien reality, basically. You can see ships. You can teleport onto a ship. It was teaching the earth about agriculture, growing things, keeping the frequencies high. It was at its highest point. It was always talking to the world. And the world was always talking back to it, of course. Now, how can we improve your part of the world? And what can we learn from you to improve our place in the world? So it was very high frequency. You didn't really have to teleport. It was like you're having a telepathic connection with that person. It was like you were there with them. It's like you merged into their mind. So you were already talking in front of each other, just with a simple hello or whatever words that come to mind. So yes, you've had I believe a lot of third dimensional experiences there. You had high vibration, but also third dimension. The third dimensional ones are really with you, as you can see. I believe you're more of the spiritual sense there. You knew there was another time there. You knew there was more than what the gods are saying. The world there was not the same anymore. But you kept a lot of that knowledge. I believe you're type of a channeler. You were a medicine, woman, I believe. Herbs, things like that. Also music you're connected to. You can talk to the gods, basically. The more positive ones. And yes, there were false gods there at that time. Like, like when they had sacrifices and all that. It's like, no, this isn't right. And you saw something else. I believe you were allowed to live for a long time, where sometimes someone like you be like, your days are numbered. That wasn't the case for you. Because that was what things that you were saying there was very, illegal, you can say. But they knew that you were important because what you were connecting to. It's like, we're not going to get involved with that. Because that might be like, if you get harmed, others get harmed at the same time. It's like, I'll come back to it. Well, you're just helping. It's like you're kind of like an Indian chief, something similar to that.
You could be that and be a female in that timeline?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was, you had a different type of, you can say the lifetimes after that became, you forgot more and more. You had more amnesia, so it wasn't as strong anymore. We had a female lifetime where you weren't putting up with anybody's stuff. They're saying what they're doing is wrong, so it's sacrifices. And you were not touched at all. They were just, I believe you're more feared, that's what I can say. Because like she's talking to the gods and we don't understand this, but we're not going to interfere with it either. I believe there are statues depicting of you also. Now they might make a statue of, kind of like a creature, like it's a female, but has a creature face. Something to think about. That's what we're saying.
Thank you for that. I just want to share with the listeners that this is actually the city that's now known as Palenque in southern Mexico. So we use the Mayan name, but it's Palenque City. The last time I was there, I had a pretty profound experience, although I don't fully understand what happened, but I got really sick when I left, and I had to be on a bus for like 6 or 7 hours, really, really sick. Was it because I was just being overloaded by high frequencies or memories? I mean,
it's a little bit of both. Yeah, it's too much for you. It was like it was emotional, very emotional for you, if I can see. It felt like you wanted to stay there. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I always want to.
I feel like leaving was heartbreaking because I feel like you're a part of it, part of the land, which you are. I don't believe it was an attack. I believe it was just you, anxiety. Not wanting to leave home.
Yeah.
Because you taught a lot of souls there. You're like a teacher there. You taught many of them. Even when the negative energies were coming in, you kept a lot of souls going. You kept, you taught children and just kept the frequency as high as you could. It was kind of a battle, but it's a place that you'll always be connected to that land, it seems. So.
Thank you for that. In terms of the connections, when you were saying that there was like a quite Atlantean connection there, or at least definitely, ships and lots of contact, what specific star systems were connected to the Mayans on Earth at that time?
Well, I say majority of them. Sirius, Pleiades. Sirius, there's no one star system. It seemed like it was basically another starport for ships to land. So it's still a place of sightings, but they're careful of what's being seen there. But we would say Sirius, but it's like a motherland of all beings.
Yeah.
So it just right now, many beings are there, but a lot of the reptilian thought patterns went into it, to the Mayan, it was downloaded into the earth. When the Mayans became corrupted, a lot of darkness went into the earth's frequency and swore the vibration even more. That had a lot to do with the male energies just kind of giving up. Where they've been manipulated by these hidden energies, because they could see the reptilians in the beginning. But when they couldn't see them anymore, it became more difficult. That's when some of them minds becoming violent because their minds are being taken over. It was very difficult to fight something like that because their power was not the same anymore. Because when the ancestors, their power, their ancestors are protecting the Mayan people and let them know what was going on. But that power can only last so long. When the ancestor died, the power just weakened over time. But the children were told, but it just wasn't the same. It just wasn't as powerful as it used to be.
I'd love to travel a little bit on the thread of when Europe met the Americas, when the Spanish finally came to Mexico, what's now modern day Mexico, came to Mayan lands, came to the lands of the people that we know as the Aztecs. was that also, I mean, obviously it was fated, but what was the main purpose of that?
There's a lot of it.
Everything, at least my reality, being directly connected to both Spanish and indigenous in this lifetime. I have that blood, so.
Well, there's a lot of Anunnaki energies there. To take, a lot of elite wanted to take whatever magic they could. It was like a looting, as you know. To take, because they knew what was there. So they robbed the Mayan temple as much as possible. Of course, the Aztec energies were, strong at that time. But yeah, it was basically, it had a lot to do with DNA, with the Spanish DNA to integrate into that area. So some dying out was meant to be so new offspring can come through, which did happen. So as more invaders came in, less were sick. So yeah, when they got there, they got everybody sick. Many were dying, but that was meant to be. And so the children could come in. So with new DNA and to take the world to the next generation. So yeah, that was their deathbed. Yeah, that was, and they had no idea when they would have never went there if they knew that was going to happen. A lot of Spanish died also. So it wasn't just the Mayan people that were there. A lot of Spanish died with it. So but it was integrating DNA. So you have the modern society that you have now. So a lot of that went into the Native Americans also. Eventually it found its way there. So you see the Spanish did have like a newer DNA, you can say. Of course, the Mayan DNA was just fine, but the Spanish was more tainted. It wasn't as healthy, but that's why humans here are not healthy. That's why they get cancer easier too. Has to do with bad health there, and just DNA is just not the same. Yeah, because Mayan DNA is very pure. It's basically like they don't get sick very often. They usually and a lot of them still exist, of course, but not as like they used to.
Yeah.
So.
I'd love to talk about the power of the pyramid, both as a physical temple and as a sacred, geometric, etheric technology. What can you share to us humans now about the power of the pyramid, why they were built, how we can still tap into them?
Well, it's like a beacon for alien visitation. It's like calling on the aliens to arrive. But it's also the pyramids are set in the future. Future DNA, future human. It's really about just the evolution of humanity. Like you said, even the pyramid structure of humanity, those are at the top. But of course, the pyramids don't have the same pyramid top as the Egyptians do. So they don't have that elitist structure. They made sure of that. But they still have the structure of humanity, but no one's there to control it. I mean, obviously men are trying to, but they're not. It's not as it would in other places. So, but it's basically because a lot of the Mexicans now would easily, a lot of them are open-minded. And because yes, there's corruption there, but it's not overtaken them completely. So, and that's the pyramids are just showing. Remember your ancestors. Remember the power. It's just like a footprint. Just remember how powerful you all are. This is not going anywhere. We won't allow it to be destroyed. So it just, it's like the gods, like the parents leave their stuff at home, when the kids are growing up. Oh, wait, this is mom and dad's stuff. It's just to remember, even if you don't see the parents or grandparents, their stuff is still there. Their artifacts are still there. And that was just a reminder as when humans, it helps people awaken. Yeah, there's things here that are not, if you didn't have any of these ancient alien artifacts anywhere, yeah, this world would have trouble ascending, as you probably know.
Yes.
It would be nowhere near as it is right now. You need the pyramids. You need this stuff here to awaken, to give you encouragement. You are going the right way, and you are. So,
and because I've actually visited many of these pyramids in this lifetime, my ancestors told me, go back, climb the pyramids, meditate there, connect, remember. They kept telling me to remember, and it changed my whole life. Literally got me in alignment and on track and beginning this path of awakening. And Mexico has so many pyramids. I think even worldwide, it is just, I don't know. I think it's going to be an important place for the future.
Yes. Well, you became less human. That's what happened to you. You went in there as human. You came out your higher frequency self. You remembered who you are. Interesting, where higher dimensional selves is a bird, a human bird being. You have many forms.
Yeah.
You also have, I believe you noticed, Andromedan connections.
Yes.
So you say you came here from Andromeda to learn the human ways, to go through what others go through, but also to remember. So you brought that high frequency energy with you, and now you're aligning it with the earth. It's like, because you're helping humanity remember itself. That's why you came here. About all the troubles here, but that's just healing your own self, and it's necessary. It's hard, but things that, because in the higher frequencies, they know how to bypass all those problems. But it doesn't mean you don't have those problems still with you. I know I shouldn't be doing those things, but so you come here and do them. Devices, whatever it might be, bad decisions. Yeah, this world is like, bring it on. Yeah, just do whatever you got. Make a mess out of yourself. Yeah. You won't be judged, but you'll be judging yourself. That's just how it works. Yes, this is where you can come and make mistakes. Other worlds know better. But that doesn't always work. You know better not to make these problems for themselves, but you have these problems within you still. You may not be, wanting to eat chocolate cake all the time, but if you come to Earth, it's like, well, the chocolate cake I can get my hands on now. For example. You can indulge. Another world's like, I'm not going to indulge in that. Like, yeah, you're right. And it just move on from it. But part of you still wants that. So, yeah.
I think there is such an appeal to being human. I think I've remembered all of these, aspects of me, timelines where I've been in other planets, and, it's slowly coming together, this map of who I am as a soul. And I know there is an appeal of coming to Earth. I know that there are things that you can do here and experience here and learn and change and shift that a lot of people don't realize, that if you were somewhere else, you couldn't experience what you're experiencing here. Even in one lifetime, what you are able to do, how you can shift, how you can awaken, there's other places where that would never happen, because this is such like a ticking time bomb of, energy. And, I use the example of a volcano. It's like an eruption wants to happen when you come to Earth within you.
Well, because you can, like I said, the higher frequency worlds, yeah, you can say some beings get bored. They've seen it all. They've lived. I mean, after a world like this, a higher frequency world sounds like paradise right now. But when you're there for such a long time, you feel like you're not really evolving. If you go to Earth, yes, you know what journey you're going to go into. Yes, you get to go into the ugly side of yourselves, just on all levels, through weight gain, weight loss, through troubled relationships, drug addictions. You just go through, and you can get a drug. See, on higher dimensional worlds, you can have a drug addiction and be fine. But on this world, you get a drug addiction. It's like, this isn't working here, is it? No, it's not.
Your world crumbles and you live on a mattress outside in the
there are
winter.
Yes, there are other ways of having a high. That's not one of them. Yeah, the idea for this world is to experience your mistakes, to really, yes, find the hell within oneself. The hell have no fury. Yeah, to go into your own nightmare, basically, which being there is not joyful, especially those around you when you're driving them crazy. But yeah, you're seeing the darker side of everyone. Of course, you can connect to a lighter side also. But yeah, there's not many worlds that allow you to just go this deep, but also to rise up. Other worlds just let you go down.
So some people maybe have the misconception that Earth is a punishment, like a lifetime on Earth, maybe. If they connect to these really high dimensional or high frequency, high consciousness places in the galaxy or the universe, they think Earth is a punishment. But basically what we're discussing here is it's not. It's a choice.
Yes, well, you can say when one's discovering their own darkness, it is a punishment. Gosh, I didn't realize it was this bad. Of course, some deny it, but it's still there, especially those in a higher frequency of negativity, meaning that they say they're high vibration, but if you do something, like you say a cuss word or something, and they get all angry about it, it's like, whoa, there's a lot of that happening. So negativity disguises itself as positivity here, which makes it more complicated.
Okay, you just reminded me of something I'd like to touch upon. It's very easy to hide behind personas here. It's very easy to be, like a guru on the outside and a predator for men or women on the inside. There's a lot of falsity and masks that people wear all the time. That can't really play out in other worlds, can it?
No higher frequency worlds. There are reptilian worlds where you can kind of do the same thing, but they're also, there are other human worlds that are very kind of reptilian like. We'll just use that for example, but like they see the characteristics of a guru that can be very manipulative, but others still follow it. It happens all the time. The higher frequencies you see it less. Some worlds, even like a moderate dark world, they can see it, but they still allow it. So it's just this one, people just fall into that trap very easily. So to define that, why it's the human. It's just like eating bad food all the time, or getting bad spirituality, you can say. Like that might be the healthiest person in the world, physically, but they're getting like horrible spirituality lessons, teachings. And there's nothing there that says like fast food's bad for spirituality that's kind of toxic is bad. There's no real sign of it, really. There's no documentaries put on. Let's put it that way. Not really.
Yeah.
People don't understand it quite yet.
Well, I think one thing that's pretty powerful here is the mind, and people can convince themselves of anything. Mm-hmm. And when you have manipulation and manipulative, maybe more powerful beings, that are these ones masking as gurus or shamans or light workers, now especially now that the world is awakening more, they're using that as another angle of like, all right, we're going to get into the conscious community and we're going to corrupt them. And then we have more of us, spreading.
It's easy.
A disease. It's like it's like a virus. It's like a disease.
Yes, they give manipulation that feels good. Mental manipulation. They put in nice little words, but they also find a way to hook you. Yeah, that's where your world's going to go into the next phase of. It shows you're going into a higher frequency. If you're talking about aliens and higher energies, you are showing you are moving into a higher fourth dimensional level, into the fifth dimension to higher. But seeing this mind trap that's going on. That's what the Mayans got pulled into, as you know. The mind got taken over. And through all other religions at the same time. But the Mayans are very clear. That's why you are the way you are. You saw it very easily. You saw how the mind, I believe that's why your mind is usually pretty protected overall. As you know. I do see you friends with reptilian beings, but because it's like, they're not enemies either. It's like, could you understand how it's all working out here? You just, no, I don't see you with any enemies, actually. What's the point?
I think people that I used to consider enemy, like all of my enemies used to be either people I've known in other lifetimes and loved, or in this lifetime we were very close and we considered each other family, and then things, the path I was on took me in a different direction, and I've lost a lot of people in my life, and not because they've died, because they've chosen to walk away from me and I've chosen to walk away from them. And I'd love for people listening to this to understand that that's okay, that that's a beautiful thing. It may hurt like hell to do it and to do it over and over again sometimes, but nothing can stop me from where I'm going. I do live a lot in the future as well. People that listen to this podcast know that. People that know me know that. And I just know where I'm going. And I know that there's some people that aren't coming with me.
Well, I see you incarnating into, alien species groups that are difficult, like Anunnaki, even the reptilians, but you find the good in all of them, is what I see. It might not be easy because it makes you stronger internally. It's like, this might be like, especially if you have a family member, it's like, that's reptilian. It's like, okay, I'll incarnate in your group, see how that goes. Doesn't usually go very well.
I think that might be the case for this lifetime.
Yeah, so I believe so. Yeah, this world is, well, that's the difficulty. I believe you remember more of your alien connections than your human. I mean, you remember your Mayan, but I believe you remember more of your higher. You can just feel them even if you don't remember them in detail. But of course, because the human, as you know, your human experiences have been not easy in previous lifetimes. In this one, but the world needed you for those roles.
Yeah.
And yes, you are prominent in the Bible. I believe you know that already.
We'll save that for a future episode.
You are prominent there. Yeah, you are in the pages of that. They're not telling me details, but you are there. Well, I can tell you this. I don't know if you've ever been told this. Yeah, Jericho, you were there. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of remembrance that I'm working on right now, and it's been beautiful, deep soul retrieval work, and I'm really grateful that I've done it, that I've set out to do it, that I continue doing it no matter how hard it gets. I have a soul family now that really is an anchor also. We do all this work together.
Yes. Well, yes, it's like you're with feline beings. Because now it's time to heal from all of that. Yeah, all of that's over with. The past is over. Well, I'll give you this also. Yeah, Abraham family line. In the Bible, you are connected to that. I'm not sure if you knew about that. That's coming. And those are hard life. Those are hardship. It's like incarnated his family. It's not going to be easy. But yes, now is the time of the great awakening within yourself. And yes, you do need your friends there because it's what you're really revealing within you is, as you know, difficult.
Since you brought the felines up, there's one question back to the Mayans that I wanted to learn a little bit about, the jaguar, the black jaguar feline connection, specifically with the Mayans, because I know a lot later jaguar energy is depicted inside of temples. It's very prominent energy. The shamans really connect with this jaguar and black jaguar energy. So can you tell us a little bit about how it's connected to Mayan?
Well, it is a protector, but also there was a time where humans can transform into a jaguar being. So obviously the world was at a different frequency at that time where they can shapeshift into a jaguar. So jaguars, it was another part, of the feline experience, meaning your humanoid feline beings are also. Warrior race, but very spiritually inclined, very connected, but kind of afraid of themselves, meaning they knew their own darkness because they have civilizations that have been taken over due to their own, similar to humans, self-indulgence, kind of forgotten about, so for protecting a world, like a higher frequency, it's just allowing the higher frequency to exist. It's just no one's stopping it. No one says no. They just keep allowing. It's like experiences. Like if you want to go to Paris, you go to Paris. If you want to go to the temples, you go to the temple. You go. You're being with those that want to be with you. Whatever you want to do. Most likely, not everyone's sitting at home right now doing nothing. Everyone's doing something to keep not just to keep their frequency going, because doing things that they enjoy.
Well,
But
the
as
ones
soon as
listening to this podcast are, but a lot of other people in the world aren't doing that.
yes,
They're at home,
but it's
masked up and afraid.
Yes, it's when a society says, no, you can't be happy. You can't do these things anymore. You can't go to this place. You can't go to that place. You can't have fun. That's when the frequency starts low. Or you find a way to clear that out in some form. So, yeah, it's just, yeah.
So what is the Jaguar energy? Because I'm feeling very connected to it, even in these past weeks, but it has been an energy that's been present with me for some time. And I always tell people it's protective, it's powerful. It really, it connects me to Mexico as well, and Mayan lands.
It brings its flaws, meaning it does not judge. So it's just a very protective, like a parent to this civilization of just, we'll let you do your thing, but we're there to help you understand yourself at the same time. Like, you can talk to us, and it's like a shaman, a mentor energy. So that's what you're going back. You can say you're going back to that frequency of the Jaguar. Well, you had your shapeshift as a Jaguar, actually, is what we feel. So their world is very, very calm, it's like they have just an understanding of each other. So they brought that knowledge here because they were attracted to the Mayans and what they were doing there. So you guys are just like us. So they made sure there would be part of that society.
But so how were they a warrior race also, the Jaguars that came to those?
From other realities, their own worlds, the worlds that they've gone through a lot of conflict with their planets. So you can say they saw the same conflict here, so they help protect it. So they're part of protecting the Earth itself. Why the world is still here? Because all these beings that had problems with reptilian beings, because they've been tempted by reptilians also and other beings. So they brought that knowledge here. It's like, yeah, we've been through this too. So, yeah.
Solidarity.
So usually a lot of it's a few lines, not just a few lines, but if you look at statues of a few lines, it shows that who is protecting the Earth. Any animal statues, even the griffin is part of protecting the Earth.
And the dragons.
Dragons, of course. Oh, they're not going to let this world be destroyed ever. Whereas the dragon is very connected to the Mayan frequency, of course. And the dragon energy of the Mayans is learn from yourself. Yeah. If you want to get drunk and get drunk, please do. But don't forget who you are. Or while be yourself. But don't forget you either. Because they want human. Yeah, because like it's clearing out the darkness for enlightenment to come through.
So I'm feeling like there might be one more big question that I wanted to ask, and that is, did the Mayans have like one big collective ascension where just they knew the Earth was going in a certain direction and they decided like collectively, I don't know if it's hundreds, thousands, did they disappear because they were done with this planet?
Well, they shifted frequencies, yes. But there's still Mayans still here. They didn't all leave.
Right.
But so you can say through the Aztec, or the darker energy came through them. But yes, they went to, you can say they went to their ship and went home. So.
Oh, and that's something we haven't mentioned either. Where is home? Is there a few different off-planet locations for the Mayans?
Well, there are several. One's Alpha Centauri.
Is there a Venus connection?
Yes. And well, yes, there's a Mars connection also.
Okay. Alpha Centauri.
Mm-hmm.
I've never connected to that in relation to the Mayans, so that's going to be interesting for me to dive deeper into.
There's the Venus is more of, yes, the higher frequencies of it. So just basically what's connected to the rain, the weather that's here. It's very Venus weather, clouds, things like that. The Mars is more the Martian. There's some Martian spirituality there. Of course, I went more into the Aztecs of more of the third dimension, the soul. The soul is a positive Martian frequency of just really connected to higher frequencies, like a spiritual warrior. Just one that ascends magically into higher, like a godlike being. So
I think people lump together a lot the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Toltecs. It gets very confusing. I really wanted this to be Mayan centered because that just feels the closest to me and relevant to my journey. And yeah. Any last words?
Yes, you have the heart of the Mayans. That's why. So you see through this reality, you see too much, as you know. But your eye, what you see, others people see, though. I mean, you're letting them see your point of view. So their inner healing of who are they? Now's the time, because you're remembering, and so will others. So you're helping others, clear out their amnesia. Connect to the temple within oneself. So yes, the pyramids is like the inner temple. It's within the inner self. It's like part of the heart chakra. Yes, it does make it rain sometimes. The weather anomalies. But it has a reason behind it. Just like people say the gods are speaking to us, because they are.
And for those beautiful souls that made it all the way to the end of this podcast, any advice on how to navigate the next cycle of time, whether it's just this decade, 2020 through 2030? Any advice?
Well, when you know your own self, there's nothing to worry about. When you have peace within your own heart, it's inner peace. The world can make all the decisions at once. It doesn't have to make those decisions for you. Even if you are affected by the world and its choices, you can still, find your heart, find your way through those challenges. Continue on your road. Yeah, if you have positive intentions for yourself and others, you will continue with that. Because the universe wants you to know who you are. It wants you to remember who you are at a higher level. So, just not worry.
Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It feels very, very at home to connect with this collective and share it with an audience, share it with like-minded soul warriors of the heart, starseeds, light workers. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Yes, there's like a diamond heart diamond energy within the soul. It's like these crystals are a form of spirit. It's spirits in the physical. So, blessings.
Blessings.
Thanks. Okay, rings.
Hi, right. Ivan.
Okay. All right. Well,
we traveled far, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, I felt a lot of weather with them, but yeah. Soul journey. We have a ways to go.
They were very positive, and they were very. I really feel like they gave us a full spectrum. They brought through a lot of information, even about shadow and darkness, and I mean, I think there is so much in what you were able to channel from the Mayan consciousness that's going to ripple out.
Yeah, there's more I can probably go into, more that I understand it too, so I can tap into it. So,
do you want to share anything from because I know people might not understand that you channel, but you have your own connection to spirit, and you bring certain messages through also just as Ivan Teller.
Yeah. Connect to higher selves and alien energies, Sirius, Pleiades, all sorts of places. I connect to everything basically. So all type of consciousness. So we're just here to clear out the shadows, you can say. But not a lot of people aren't always ready for, but what is necessary. So it does feel like we are kind of going into biblical times again, of just when the spirit realms really start making themselves more known here. They kind of have here and there, but it hasn't really, they haven't really activated itself just yet. We're getting there.
So you could say that the show is about to begin again.
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah.
Something. I would believe so, yeah. It's timing of when is another story. But yeah. We're all here for a reason. We're not just here to heal ourselves. You can do that other places. I mean, while we're here, we can heal ourselves, but we're here to also make a difference here. So, to really change things. So, we just
how important do you think Earth is in connection to the rest of the galaxy, the universe? There's a lot of people that I guess have explored these maybe more cosmic galactic threads, might know that Earth is being watched by a lot of other places right now. Everybody's quite invested in what's going on here. At least that's the way I feel.
Yeah, there's a lot can be done here where other worlds you can't manipulate. So there's a war here. So we're just here to end the war, you can say. But this is because so many beings can do whatever they want here, and then people just take it. A lot's happening here. Of course, we might not always see it fully, but so many look at things from a third dimensional level. The news and which is fine, but there is a bigger picture that's coming in. That when is another story.
We're zooming out the lens little by little, because if you did it really fast, it wouldn't look as pretty.
No. Well, even in the Bible, things took a long time. It's like patience. It's like 10 years or whatever. It's the same thing. Just have to learn patience. I mean, patience is probably the biggest thing right now. whatever you have to learn, patience is a rough one. Yeah, because you probably see the future, you just can't get to it yet. So I imagine you have and other people have a vision of the future. It's just, where is it? Where you're working towards it. Yeah, so don't give up. As easy it is to give up, because they want people to give up. You know, it's all about getting people that are highly evolved, to just throw in the towel. So we can't do that. It's rough. But you'll get help if you want. People get tired, help will show up eventually, but still. Yeah.
So no giving up, no throwing in the towel.
No.
If you're listening to this podcast, you especially cannot give up, because you are very high vibrational and we need you, and Earth needs you. Yeah,
because the Earth, you don't have to be on a podcast or anything. Just how you see the world, that energy connects to the Earth. Like you want to see a future, a better frequency. Your frequency, the Earth feels it. So, and without you doing that, it makes it a little bit harder. That's why things take a while. Because it's so hard here. So many people get pulled in the lower energies. It's hard to be at a higher dimension. So yeah, just being yourself, basically doing what you have to do in life. You don't have to save the world. You don't have to go around wake up people. Just be yourself. Because you go around waking up people, good luck with that. It's like, they'll find you. As fun as it might seem to go around, religion's been doing that forever. Find Jesus and all that. So.
Well, sometimes it backfires when you grow up really religious, and that actually helps you find spirituality and like just yourself, and remember that nobody's your boss but source itself.
Yeah, but there's different types of spirituality too. There's spirituality where you still kind of live in this reality and kind of take the manipulations and just, but I'm so spiritual, or you go to the next level of like, this isn't happening anymore. All this, manipulation here, it's like, I'm not putting up with it. That's a different type. That's like the warrior, spiritual warrior, soul warrior. And that's what the world needs. Just, you're not putting up with any of this anymore. So, you just say it in your own self, your own being, which matters a lot. So,
how did you fall into this, Ivan? Like, have you been channeling since you were a child?
No. Well, probably. I did downloads of, I wanted to be a writer because I was downloading stuff, probably from the Secret Space program, I guess, or other realities, parallel realities. Let's put it that way. But no, I knew about psychic work. I knew about spirit guides. I would get hit by spirit and my arm would move. He'd jolt me. I'd be laying down and I'd get a big hit and I'd, get my attention. So I've had that. So I knew spirit guides exist. I knew the spirit realm existed. But was it long story short, 2011, I had like a mini awakening, but I didn't know what to do with my abilities. So I shut down and reawakened. I had a message from spirit, like something like with Moses or something would have. It's like, go out and do this professionally. It's like, first I was like, okay, how does that work exactly? So I found a psychic circle, and slowly I found channeling on my own, actually. So, which I was at work, and the message reptilian channeling came to mind. It's like, well, where have I been? I never even thought about that. So that kind of got me into, started looking into that. It's like, well, I can tap into those guys. I never thought about tapping into aliens before. I knew they were here, but I just never really thought about channeling their energies. That never came to mind. So it found me. I didn't find it. So I got guided towards it. It wasn't something I was like, wow, I just can't wait to channel. That was never on my, just never occurred to me. It's like reading up on it and all that, never did any of that. I just sort of found it within myself. So
you remembered it.
You can say that, yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for what it is you do, because I've, recently had private sessions with you, and I know there's a lot of remembrance in what you do, and you can help, and you have helped me, and you help a lot of people, I'm sure. So I'll put all your links in the episode description, and thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your spirit, because this is not easy to do.
No. Let's put it this way. I mean, what I remember, I've been a lot of lifetimes in the Bible, apparently. So this is not your normal, high vibrational work. This is more of a, what it is, kind of a spiritual warrior. I don't know how to word it, but this is a different type of spirituality. This is your, the hardcore spiritual work.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.